Day 1 of reincarnating as a black dragon, and I already wanted to eat my 2 unhatched little sisters. Even my dragon mom had me drooling, because I'd unlocked this golden ability called the Feast. Basically, the more I devour, the stronger I get. So yeah, the scent drifting off my dragon mom, absolutely irresistible. But one look at her massive body and those razor-sharp claws, that snapped me right back to reality. Day 2. My 2 little dragon sisters were about to hatch. Fresh out of the egg, they smelled absolutely delicious. I genuinely had to fight the urge to just bite right into them. The second mom left, I strutted right over to my sisters. No hesitation, I snatched a bunch of their eggshell pieces. Gotta stock up for the feast, after all. Zilo tried to fight back, so I just pinned her to the ground, then grabbed the biggest shell piece for myself. Meanwhile, Qingxuang saw what was happening and panicked, started piling up her own shells. She started scarfing them down like crazy. Not on my watch. I grabbed her by the neck and shoved her aside, then picked out the biggest piece from her pile too. I'd already eaten my own eggshell earlier and unlocked the first layer of the feast. Now I had to stockpile food during the cooldown period. So I stashed the stolen shells along with that half-eaten monster carcass I had, waiting for the next feast to kick in. My sisters burned through their own eggshell pieces pretty fast. Then they were just staring at that monster carcass in the distance, drooling. Zilo couldn't help herself. She started slowly creeping toward it. Qingxuang was watching Zilo about to pounce. Then I grabbed her by the neck and tossed her aside. Mom prepared this for us. You can't just take it all for yourself. Zilo glared at me, fuming. You really think Mom's gonna care about something this small? I didn't even bother responding to that threat. Zilo went quiet after that. 5-colored dragons don't really do family bonds. Mom genuinely wouldn't bat an eye at something like this. Still, I felt like maybe I'd pushed it a little, so I tore off 2 chunks of meat. That should be enough for you 2. If it's not, go eat some dirt. The 2 little dragon sisters were still ticked off, but there wasn't much they could do. Zilo ate her meat with pure rage. Qingxuang ate while side-eyeing her amazing big bro. Meanwhile, I was thinking about the feast ability. It wasn't just limited to meat, was it? When I spotted Mom's treasure hoard earlier, something inside me lit up. But it wasn't the typical dragon hoarding instinct. It was straight up hunger. The scent coming off those treasures, that was all the proof I needed. A day later, the feast finally activated. That familiar wave of hunger hit me like a truck. I dove at the monster carcass and went absolutely to town on it. The feast progress bar started climbing, but after I finished every last scrap of monster meat, the progress was still stuck at 90%, and somehow I was even hungrier than before. I turned and looked at my 2 little sisters, just staring at them with those hungry eyes. Zilo and Qingxuang instinctively shrank back. Big bro was giving off some seriously scary vibes right now. I forced myself to ignore the smell coming off my sisters, and shifted my focus to the monster bones on the ground. Picked up the cartilage and ribs and started chomping away. After going absolutely feral on those bones, the feast finally hit 100%. I found a random corner of the cave and slipped away from Mom and my sister's sight, and watched my body slowly grow. Scales hardening up. Claws and fangs getting sharper. Limbs getting absolutely jacked. The transformation finally wrapped up, I could feel it. My bone density and muscle mass had leveled up big time. I was pretty sure I now weighed more than both my little sisters combined. Day 3. Food in the cave was running low, and Mom still wasn't going out to hunt. For the sake of the next feast, I had no choice but to go hunt myself. I stepped out of the cave. The area outside was full of obstacles. Regular beasts and monsters wouldn't come anywhere near here, so if I wanted to hunt, I'd have to venture further from the nest. I headed deeper into the jungle. Deep in a thick forest, 5 shadow wolves were feasting on a horned deer carcass. I watched from behind the bushes. These shadow wolves were savage types, not monsters yet. Still, they weren't something to take lightly. I sized up both sides and figured, yeah, I could take them. I started slowly closing in, then snapped my jaws straight into the nearest shadow wolf's throat. The wolf let out one short whimper and went down. The other 4, including the alpha, were completely frozen by that ambush. The alpha didn't charge right away. He bared his teeth at me and started snarling. He was sizing me up. One look at my pitch black dragon scales and wings. The alpha recognized what I was. A black dragon. But just a hatchling. The moment he finished calculating the gap between us, the alpha let out a howl. The other 3 wolves fanned out and surrounded me. I still had the dead wolf hanging from my mouth. Its warm blood was trickling down my throat. A wave of excitement hit me, like something inside me was waking up. I looked at the 4 wolves, dropped the carcass, planted my front claws on it, spread my wings, and let out a roar. On the alpha's command, all 3 wolves charged. I charged head-on and crashed straight into one of them. The wolf went flying. I could faintly hear bones snapping. The other 2 seized the moment and went for my neck and one of my wings. I slammed down on the one going for my neck, drove my claws straight through its body, then sank my fangs into its spine. Crack! The shadow wolf's spine snapped clean, but the other wolf had locked its jaws onto my wing. The scales on my wing couldn't hold. The fangs punched right through. That's when the alpha came charging in, aiming those powerful jaws straight at my throat. I slowly tilted my head up with a cold look. Been waiting for you. A stream of acid shot out of my mouth in a cone, covered the alpha's entire face. He was blind, rolling around on the ground in pure agony. After spitting that acid, I spun around and pinned the wolf chewing on my wing, bit through its neck in one clean motion. Then, a cool sensation spread through my body. The hole in my wing was slowly closing up. That was my predator passive kicking in. I looked over my work. Honestly, pretty hyped. Shadow wolves are pretty low-tier predators, sure, but I took out a whole pack as a hatchling, practically unscathed. That's still saying something. I got right to devouring the carcasses. Non-monster meat, though. It just didn't hit the same. The feast was still on cooldown, but by my estimate, all 5 wolves plus that horned deer still wouldn't be enough to finish the 3rd layer. Then a wild boar, and over 3 meters long, that stepped out of the shadows. Let out a low growl at me, eyes fixed on the bodies scattered everywhere. I glanced up at it, then went right back to eating. Just an opportunistic boar. Savage type, not even on my radar. The boar saw I wasn't reacting and got bolder, crouched low and crept toward a wolf carcass, clearly about to grab it. I stopped eating and walked toward it. The boar immediately dropped the carcass and bolted. Smart pig. Once it confirmed I wasn't hurt, it cut its losses and ran. No hesitation. I didn't eat all the wolves, just 2 of them. Stashed the rest in the toxic swamp nearby. After wandering around and getting familiar with the area, I headed back to the den. Qing Shuang and Zilo were both looking totally out of it, glancing toward the back of the cave every now and then. Looked like Mom still hadn't gone out to hunt. I was honestly hoping to get my hands on some high-tier monster meat soon. As I walked past Qing Shuang, she sniffed the air. Blood. Big bro, you definitely went out hunting, didn't you? That realization hit her and she suddenly perked right up. Big bro, did you go out hunting or what? So what if I did? I gave her a lazy side eye. Actually, when you went out yesterday, I snuck out too. Wait, you actually went outside? I stared at Qing Shuang in disbelief. This tiny thing. A few shadow wolves could have finished her off easy. I found this great spot. Tons of prey out there. I want to set up a temporary den there with you. She knew there wasn't much future in staying here. Sure, true dragons can survive on dirt, but if there's actual meat, why would anyone bother with dirt? Not interested right now. I gave her a totally unbothered look. Not even for a monster? Qing Shuang's eyes went wide. A monster? What monster? Now I was actually interested. Mom had been living here so long that there were basically no monsters left in the area. I was trying to follow you, but I lost you after a while. That's when I found a monster. A dirt bear. Bro, you were actually tailing me? I shot her a sharp look. Qing Shuang quickly added, Okay. I lost your trail right after you left the den, I swear. A fully grown dirt bear is a rank 5 monster. Only a young adult dragon can take one head on. There's no way we can handle that as hatchlings. That dirt bear looked injured though. I saw a lot of blood on it. And it probably hadn't hit rank 5 yet. I thought about it for a second. The feast was almost off cooldown, which meant it was time to start prepping for the next one. Alright, let's go check out that dirt bear. Move out. Qing Shuang happily fell in behind me. Since Mom hadn't gone hunting in days, I had no choice but to go out and hunt a monster for the next feast. Hunting a monster solo as a hatchling was risky, but thankfully the one my sister found was already hurt. Worth a shot. At that moment, in a forest at the edge of the toxic mist swamp, Qing Shuang and I moved in total silence. You sure the dirt bear's here? We've been walking forever. Nothing but trees out here. I swear this is where I saw it! Qing Shuang was starting to get anxious too. I thought for a second, then shifted my gaze to a horned deer in the distance. Before it could even react, I hit it out of nowhere and snapped its neck clean. Qing Shuang watched, jaw-dropping, literally. Is that for us to eat? In your dreams. That's bait for the dirt bear. I gutted the deer like a pro. The smell of blood immediately spread through the whole area. Dirt bears have insane noses. If it's still in this area, it'll come. Alright, now you can eat. I watched Qing Shuang's desperate little face and said, Qing Shuang caught on quick. Wait, I'm the bait? Well, you want me to be the bait? While you swoop in and kill the dirt bear? Yeah, that's on you. And so Qing Shuang started eating the deer, munching away while nervously scanning the area. After a little while, a massive dark shadow slowly crept closer. I could clearly make out the creature in the distance, a giant brown bear. But it looked rough. Half a black arrow was sticking out of its neck. So this dirt bear really was injured. Must have run into a mercenary crew. The dirt bear's eyes locked onto Qing Shuang in the distance. Instinct told it, eating that little dragon would be a major power boost. Finally, it couldn't hold back. It crouched low and charged forward like a tank. Qing Shuang had barely eaten a few bites when the sudden noise startled her. She saw the dirt bear coming. Didn't even have time to swallow, she bolted instantly. The dirt bear was hurt and a bit slow, but it kept charging at Qing Shuang with zero hesitation. Qing Shuang realized too late, she'd run herself into a dead end at a stone wall. The dirt bear reared up onto its hind legs, standing over 5 meters tall. Absolutely terrifying. Big bro, help me! Qing Shuang had never felt so small and helpless in her life.